Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. There's another big update. Two big updates in less than 7 days. We just had a big update to the Renters' Rights Bill. If you haven't watched that video, do go back and watch that. Nearly 40,000 people have watched that and 2,000 people took the free ebook that we put to complement that. Now this time, this is something that has been really popular on the channel, and that's the leasehold reform. Matthew Pennycock, the housing minister, has actually done a very big update. It's like suddenly the government has got to work in the last few weeks and they've got some real details on what is going on. Now, I've got lots to go through in this video, so let's make sure we get some awareness on this content, because this is a really big update. If you have a leasehold property, you've got a flat or you want to purchase a flat, or I bet you know someone that also has one, make sure that you share this video with them. Smash that share button there, then you can WhatsApp it, Facebook message or email it to them, and let's get awareness on this video as well by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to the like button. That will push this out on the YouTube algorithm to more people. Let's get more than 40,000 views, and subscribe to the channel. Look at this little gadget that I got here. I can tell you right now, we've got 38,200 subscribers. So do subscribe and hit that bell notification. I love that gadget. It's the best thing I bought in a long time. So I want to see that go up by the next few days. So there's a lot to get to here. And so I will have to look down, because I tried to make some bullet points on this as I normally would in a video, but there's a lot to cover. So first off, the history of leasehold. Leaseholds have been around for absolute centuries, and if you have a flat, when you initially got that flat, or whoever built that flat, it would have a leasehold. That means you don't actually own the property. The freeholder owns that property. They own the land and you have that property for a period of time. Now that could be 99 years, or it could in some cases be 999 years. And just to make it a little bit more complex, maybe you could also be a leaseholder but own your part of the freehold. I have a number of flats where I also do that. That's better. That makes things easier. You can extend your lease easier. You got more say in what happens. But a lot of new build flats, you wouldn't do that. You would just have the lease and that would be it. Now, when you have a leasehold property, as I said, you don't really own the flat. You've got it for a period of time, albeit a very long period of time. But there are covenants in that lease. And so you could always get in problems. And I have had problems with leaseholds in the past, particularly one where I added a extra bedroom in that property and we had a dispute about that for a period of time, which wasn't really much fun. And so that is a problem. So the government are suggesting in the white paper that they've launched that now properties will be changed into common hold. And this is a big change, because this was something talked about in leasehold reform previously, but it was just in the background. Now they're saying that this is what will happen. So they are saying that new properties, any new leasehold property built, will not be leasehold anymore. Leasehold for new build properties, once this is active and law, because I know some of you will say, well, I'm buying somewhere at the moment. If you're buying somewhere at the moment and it's leasehold, this will not be relevant until this law is passed. But they're saying that new properties that are sold, and you're the first owner in that, will have to be something called common hold. So that's what we're looking to move towards. And so common hold means you effectively own that property. It's yours. You own your little bit of the land, and that's a way better way to have this. It's similar to the properties that I've got that are leasehold and I own part of the freehold. It's very similar to that. So here's some key points in that. So you'll have consumer protection. So this will eliminate hidden fees and rent escalations, ground rent escalations, because ground rent in this scenario will be abolished. So ground rent will be gone. That's good. That's what a lot of people want to hear, and that's very positive. Now, you'll also have equity and control. So this will empower homeowners to have direct say in the communal areas and how they are managed. That is important for a lot of people. And it will give legal clarity. If you get a leasehold dispute at the moment, you can try reading the lease, and it's like Henry VIII wrote it. It's very, very old-fashioned language and complicated. The goal is here to make this less complicated so normal people can understand what the common hold actually includes and excludes. So it will streamline the legal structure. It will mean disputes will be reduced, and you'll get disputes dealt with faster. So that's very, very important. And they've documented this in all the white paper. The white paper is hundreds of pages long. We've rewritten that for you and condensed it to 20 pages. Click on the link below here and grab it. Like, just grab a copy of it now. I'm sure thousands of you will, but do grab the copy for the easy version of this. So here are the core principles of the proposed reform. Outright ownership, meaning you'll own your property and it won't diminish in value over time. So if you have a leasehold property at the moment and the lease drops below 80 years, which is a huge amount of time, it drops into something called marriage value. The value of the property drops significantly if the lease is under 80 years. In this scenario, that won't matter. That's very, very positive. And so this means that it will just be yours forever. Your children that inherit it, their children that inherit it, it will be yours forever. It won't have a period of time that it's common hold. It will be forever, like a house. Very, very important there. Shared responsibility. So you'll have to create a company and get the people together to have regular meetings, an annual meeting. And so you'll have a common hold association, and that will have meetings about facilities and cost sharing and help to get that sorted. Now, that could be bad news. If you've got bad neighbours, it could be difficult to get this sorted. And that is a benefit sometimes of having a freeholder, because they just get the insurance sorted. They just get everything sorted and send you a bill. This will reduce costs, but you could have clashes with other people. So that's a consideration here. The government's going to make a statutory framework on all the proposed reforms and how they work. So the end of the year, they're going to talk about this in more detail. It's going to be a lot simpler to do this. So things that will be better under common hold. Maintenance and repairs should be easier to deal with. And you've got to ensure with the association that things like the roofs, stairwells and gardens are kept in good condition and have work done to them. Financial management, you'll need to make sure that that is financially managed. It'll probably be in some sort of company. That's what we have. So I have a property down the road this way, and at that property we have a limited company that manages 4 properties in the block, and we just pay in a service charge. And my service charge there, because I own part of the freehold, is only £50 a month. I've got 2 properties in that block, so for 2 properties I pay £100. I've got one at the other end of town, the first property that I own that you've seen on this channel as well, and in that property I pay £200 a month, and that doesn't even get me as much outcome. So dealing with it yourself, if you can get along with the people, is going to be cheaper and better. Decision making, so you'll have a meeting every year or every 2 years, however often you choose in your association, and that's where decisions will be made by votes. It will be easier if you have 5 properties or an odd number, because then there will always be a carrying vote which makes the decision final. So that's important. If you've got a stalemate, you're going to have to do some negotiations. So the rights and obligations of the unit owner are, you're going to have perpetual ownership. No date that it expires, like a leasehold. Full transfer rights, you can sell the property. You'll have voting rights. You'll have to obviously do the financial contributions, compliance, and deal with all disputes as and when they crop up. Important, another part here is that it won't have the ground rent, which we covered, and you'll ideally look to build a reserve fund up. When we've got properties that are leasehold at the moment, it's way better to build the reserve up. The one that I paid £50 in a month twice, because I've got 2 properties, we've got a reserve of like 10 grand in that, because we really work together to keep costs down, and that does work a lot better. So what else is important here? So decision making will be decided by a majority. A simple majority will actually carry things over. That's important. What else is there? Here is something that is also being discussed, and that is what happens to existing leaseholds. Well, here's the good news on this. They are saying that you will be able to transfer to common hold. Now, definitely there's going to be some costs on that. 100% there's going to be some costs. They're not just going to take this asset that could be worth lots of money off a freeholder for nothing. But you will have the ability, and I haven't said yet how much it will cost or how it will work, but they have said, Matthew Pennycock has already said, in this framework, it's in the white paper, so that's a reason to grab the ebook and you can see what they're saying. They're saying you'll be able to transfer leasehold to common hold. Now, those of you listening to this that are looking to extend your lease, because some of you, lots of you, like about 500,000 people watch the leasehold content that we did. That's a lot of people. And a lot of you are worried about what happens with marriage value and all that sort of stuff. So this kind of rewrites the rules on that, and it puts us into territory where we can say, we don't know right now, but we do know there is a path from leasehold to common hold. So you've got a difficult decision to make. If you've got a lease that's say 81, 82 years at the moment, you could pay to extend that lease, and you wouldn't have the marriage value because you're over the 80 years at the moment. It still costs you a chunk of change. But then this passes at the end of the year, you'd have to pay another fee to transfer it to common hold. So my suggestion is that you subscribe, hit the bell. As soon as new readings and things happen, I'll update you, right? So as soon as I know what will happen, I'll update you. So there is going to be a way to transfer across. That's good, that's positive. But I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know if it's going to be much cheaper than marriage value, but it does sound good. And the fact is that once you've transferred, then you don't have this freeholder to worry about anymore. Now, they've also said you're going to get mixed blocks now. What does that mean? So what that means is that you are going to get buildings where, let's just say my property, where there's 4 units in there. And let's say 2 of them say, I want to buy the common hold on my property. They can do that, right? So they'll be able to do that. But the other 2 are like, I can't afford it. I'm not really fussed about doing that. It's not anything that I'm really worried about. I'd rather keep my money in the bank. In that scenario, you'd have 2 people that are common hold and 2 people that are leasehold. The freeholder would still own the freehold on the 2 quarters that haven't transferred to common hold at that point. And so in that scenario, that person would need to pay to extend the lease if they did. But what Matthew Pennycock is saying, in this scenario, those leaseholders will have better rights. They'll have the right to self-manage. They'll have the right to get service charges disputed, and all of the stuff that we did have in the Leasehold Reform Act that has been working through Parliament. So they're saying they're going to improve leaseholders' rights included in this bill, but they haven't said how that will be, and they said that will be happening by the end of this year. So they did put a date on it. So what else have we got here? So the next part, this is stuff just again that's in the white paper. So you've got full ownership, no ticking lease clock. That's important. What are they saying here? So for lenders, they're saying this is better for mortgage lenders. Lenders are going to feel more comfortable lending money on flats, because some lenders, I had a problem where I had a short lease. those of you that have followed the channel for a while, I had a short lease for a while. I got it extended cheaper because I went to the freeholder and I said, look, this is something that's going to be coming into play. At the moment, I really am like not going to pay you the full marriage value and all that kind of stuff. So we negotiated a cheaper price. Now, at that point, before that, I struggled to get a mortgage. There wasn't many lenders that would lend on a short lease. Now, if you move to common hold, lenders will have more security and they'll be more comfortable lending on that property. And I would suggest, I might be wrong, but I would suggest that you'll get a better rate on a common hold property than a leasehold property. So if you transfer it to the common hold, the lender is more secure and they're more likely to lend, because effectively it's the same as a freehold house in that stuff. What else is there? I think that's it. So it's good. This is a good update. Those of you that are waiting to extend your lease, I'm really sorry, I can't give you a date, but the government have said in this update here that by the end of this year, this will all be thrashed out and we'll know exactly what this is going to be. So they have given us a date, which is the end of this year. They have as well, in the last few weeks, they have made some amendments to leasehold. There was a small amendment the other day, which meant that you don't have to own a property for 2 years now in order to do an extension. That was something, if you bought a leasehold property and it had a short lease, you had to wait 2 years to extend that. You don't anymore. That's changed, and that will make a big difference. So, look, this is a good update. The government said they were getting frustrated, that they were getting a lot of backlash for not moving this forward. This is a major update with a major white paper to back it up. As I've said multiple times in the video, grab a copy of that, see what's in there and really understand this bill, because I think this is going to be a big thing in 2025. We'll give all the updates as and when they happen. Do comment below, even if it's just to say hi or thank you, or any questions that you've got, please do comment below. That will be really useful. That will help push more views on the YouTube video. Smash the like, hit subscribe, and check out all the other content on my channel, including this video right here.